Next on the Love You More Show.
I wanted the divorce. Erica didn't want a divorce. I wanted the divorce. Yeah. And so at that time, I just felt like marriage was not what I thought it should be. When in actuality, I wasn't what I thought I should be.
Wow.
And so I was projecting everything on marriage. Everything I'm not is marriage fault. You know what I'm saying? You holding me back, just all that. And so we separated, and man, I gave her all the, everything. I just left, start all over for 6 months. We, separated, and then crazy part, I didn't put it in the special, but I ran into her like 2 or 3 times while we were separated.
Wow.
First time we was in a club, yeah, she in the club. That's why I tell her, stop feeling sorry for women.
Hey family, Willie Mo Jr. here, and welcome to the Love You More Show. Now, if you're new to the show, I'll be honest with you, this is not our traditional set, okay? And to the people who watch all the time, this is not our set. However, sometimes I be on the fly. If you have been around me more than 30 seconds, you already know I'm like a baby just ready to build. And when the opportunity presents itself, your nephew got to take the opportunity. And today, I get the opportunity to sit down with one of my top 5 comedians ever. You say, Willie Mo Jr., who is that, okay? Well, I'm not gonna tell you the other ones because that's real disrespectful because he's right next to me, way taller than me. Let's get that out the way. But I get the opportunity to sit down with a man who's literally been a blessing to my family by allowing me to walk in the freedom that you all get a chance to experience. I remember going through uncoupling, and I don't know how I got on there, but I was on Facebook one day and I seen one of his clips and I was going through hell. It was just really, really tough. But how many of you all know that laughter is so good for the soul, right? I watched one clip, then I went to YouTube, then I got back on Facebook, and I ended up going down a rabbit hole for 55 plus minutes watching clips of the comedian that you're gonna get an opportunity to see today. You say, Willie Moore Jr., who is he? Wait, subscribe and I'm gonna tell you. Yep. Yeah, you ain't subscribed yet. You know how I know? Because you hard-headed. Because I'm hard-headed. People tell me to subscribe, I just keep on going, but pause, I'll wait. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. The man we're hanging out with today is the one and only Marcus D. Wiley. Yes.
Yeah.
He in the building. Yes, Lord. Man.
They hard-headed.
Boy, hard-headed. Come on, somebody. Probably still like subscribe and put a comment. But man, I'm so glad to have you.
Yeah.
Let me apologize first that I didn't get a chance to bring you to that pretty little set.
Yeah, it is a very pretty set that I normally see.
Yeah, pretty little set.
Yeah, but I'm grateful.
Listen, it is no disrespect to the genius in which you are. It's just when you called me, you was like, man, I'm gonna be there Wednesday.
Yeah.
We not shooting.
Yeah.
We wasn't shooting on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I was calling, moving heaven and earth. I'm like, we're gonna put him on this camera. Because Marcus D. Wiley, I kind of blurted it out during the intro, and I was gonna save it for you because I didn't tell you offline. But man, I was going through a tough spot. Like I just made a tough decision for myself. Most men don't file for divorce. Sure. Mostly women do that. 70% are women, but I made this decision for myself that was really, really unique. And man, I was feeling the demons like just, why did you? And I was like, I don't know, I don't know. And then I click on Facebook. No, my dog right there. You had different hair then. You had like a little mohawk. I was like, this was early. This was early in his career. Your face was a little, you know what I'm saying? Little, you have all that.
I changed my hair like a woman, but go ahead. Go ahead.
But man, you brought me out of a really dark night, man. And I said, if I ever get the opportunity to tell him in person, I hope I get a chance to do it on camera. But man, that night, was just a very, very pivotal night. So you don't never know where that stuff is going when you just making people laugh.
Yeah, sure.
But the Lord sent you to me in one of my darkest moments, so I honor you for that, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So to the people out there who have no idea who Marcus D. Wiley is, although 2.2 million people have watched your special in a very short time. Yeah. Although you've been on tour, you don't have a free weekend.
No.
They probably don't know because you changed your hair. Tell them about Marcus D. Wiley.
Woo! Well, Willie Mo Jr., Marcus D. Wiley, I'm a regular cat, church boy.
Yeah.
Dad, pastor, grandfather, great-grandfather.
Yeah.
College graduate, 3 degrees, college professor.
Why you change your voice like that when you start talking about degrees?
Yeah, degrees, 3 degrees, because I'm trying to be humble. Married, of course, to Erica. We've been married 27 years now, and 2 kids, Chase, Charlie. I'm an author, got a book, Hustle and Faith. Regular cat, man.
So Marcus, you say you and Erica been married for 27 years. Your new special comes out. I get a chance to watch it in my childhood bedroom because I'm there with my mother and father. Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, dang, it's been 27 years. Yeah. But you talk about a part in the special. To those of you who haven't seen it, make sure that you go check it out on this YouTube channel as well as Ali Siddiq's. You talk about a time for 6 whole months. Yeah. Y'all had separated. You came on back to the house and all your stuff was just sitting outside. Yeah. Not to give away parts of the special, but just talk about that time because evidently you were able to work through that. And the Love You More show is all about people who've been through hurts, habits, breakups, and their journey of getting back together or moving on gracefully and peacefully. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that time.
Yeah, I wanted the divorce. Erica didn't want a divorce. I wanted the divorce. Yeah. And so at that time, I just felt like marriage was not what I thought it should be. When in actuality, I wasn't what I thought I should be. Wow. And so I was projecting everything on marriage. Everything I'm not is marriage fault. You know what I'm saying? You holding me back, just all that. And so we separated and man, I gave her all the, everything. I just left, start all over for 6 months. We, separated and then, crazy part, I didn't put it in the special, but I ran into her like 2 or 3 times while we were separated. Wow. First time we was in a club, she in a club. That's why I tell you, stop feeling sorry for women. She had a club, I'm in there. I was performing, but nevertheless it was a club. And I was just watching all these guys going up to it, trying to holler at her. And I wasn't jealous, but I was like, dang, she got to start all over again. Like going through this whole filling out, getting to know you process. And I was like, ugh. Then another time I saw her, and her hair wasn't really done. And
what?
Yeah, for real. And her nails. And I married a very pretty, pristine little chick. She ain't like that.
Yeah.
And so I saw her, and I went in my pocket. I tried to give her some money. She's like, man, I don't want your money. I could tell she was getting emotional. And, that was like a little tough one, too. Yeah. But the big thing was when I was in Miami. And, this was my first TV gig doing comedy because my comedy now was taking off. Yeah. And the only person that would have understood the magnitude of this moment was Erica. Yeah. I've been pillow talking her, telling her, hey, man, we going to make it, stick with me, all that. And so I couldn't even enjoy that particular night because, she wasn't there. Or I couldn't call and say, hey, get ready. Oh, I told you. I couldn't do none of that. And so, yeah. And then that's when I had my little thing with the Lord on the flight back home. Yeah. That's when he showed up, and I knew he would. That's why I was trying to get divorced. I was trying.
So when you're sitting there on that stage, because a lot of people on the other side of this camera, especially me, a lot of times we don't talk about it, but a lot of times the very person that is giving you the most hell at home, when you finally get to that mountaintop, it's like, dang, like all of the empirical data that I put into what we were supposed to build, it really belongs to us, because I don't really want to be called nobody because they're not going to necessarily understand.
They're not going to get it.
So what type of humility did it take for you to get back on that plane and try to give her an olive branch? Because I don't really remember the story, how you built it back, but I'm sure it took a level of humility.
Yeah, I went back, I went to her apartment, and I told her, I said, man, we got to get back together, because God was real clear. He was like, you about to divorce her because she do some things you don't like. But I ain't divorced you, and you do a lot of things I don't like. Yeah. Not only have I not divorced you, I haven't even exposed you.
Jeez.
Yeah, it ain't like I've been so good. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like I received a message loud and clear, you know what I'm saying? And so when I went to her apartment, I was just telling her, man, we gotta get back together. We got to. Yeah. So it was like a thing where I felt like I had to do this, And then not only that, I wanted to, because I just didn't want to be the guy. I knew we were heading in the right direction, and I wanted the chick who was with me when I ain't had nothing, type of thing. That's just how it was.
So when you look back 27 years later, do you still honor the decision that you made?
I do. Yeah. Because what's crazy, all the things, Willie, that she was not then, she is now. And I think, it It's a thing because, you know, patience. Like, man, I had maybe 17 jobs in our first 4 years of marriage. I was getting fired just like this here.
What?
Oh yeah, but I was getting fired just because these weren't my jobs. I just needed jobs because I'm a man. I need to make some money.
Right.
But these were not jobs that I knew I was going to be at.
Yeah.
So I was quitting them, you know, getting fired, getting laid, you know, all of those type of stuff. And so because, you know, when I started doing comedy, I expected her to be like on board. But she was like, bro, you was just a bank teller Thursday.
So you had too many visions.
Yeah, it's like you was a teacher before that. You worked in the mall before that. You was a volleyball coach before. I mean, you know. And so, but I'm like, but this is it now. And she probably like, yeah, I bet it is. You know, so it took her a minute to really get involved with me being a comic. Yeah. But at that time, I was like, she don't see the vision. Yeah. You know, she ain't all the way down with me, but never thinking that, man, I done gave her 17 visions. Yeah. You know, true. Yeah, I done gave her a bunch of them. Yeah.
So I always tell men all the time, especially like my men's group, if you're not a part of it, go to morementorship.com, morementorship.com. My son, he is an amazing young man. He's 22 years old. And of course, he takes care of all of the teenagers. And then for me, like I've now hopped in for young men ages 21 to about 40 years old. And we have this mentorship opportunity. And what I tell men all the time is I tell them a lot of times, you're blurting out information and women are incubators.
Okay.
So every seed that you give them, I'm gonna be a bank teller. They taking it in like, how can I help them as a bank teller?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, now I'm doing t-shirts.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how do I do it? So when you put it in the incubator, she got so many things in this incubator. She's like, what you want me to take out of here? Because I am here to expand whatever you are saying that you're doing.
Sure.
And so for me, my dad, you know, he's 94 years old. Little guy still cuss a little bit.
Yeah.
He always be like,
that's a good Christian.
Yeah, he like, look, man, look here, man.
Yeah.
You can't give your woman all that shit, man, because by the time you get to what you want and what God really giving to you, hell, shit gonna be burnt out on every day. So what you gotta do is you gotta get you some brothers and some friends, y'all get together and y'all share them ideas, and when you get the right one, bring it to her.
Then bring it to her.
Because I was like, we moving to LA, the YouTube popping. And then God said, Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how am I supposed to go back and tell her? Because, you know, I had strong, she was strong, but I had to follow the hand of the Lord. So what do you say to men right now if they're sitting there and they're like, man, I got this job. I know this ain't what I really want to do and I'm successful in it. But I know that I want to follow my dream. How do you break the news to a woman that you've given so many dreams and got her excited about it, but now you know that this one's the one? How do you break the news to your woman?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. I mean, trust me, I don't have a legit answer, but I think for me, what I would do, one, I don't quit jobs. I get fired. I've just shared this with you. So I don't, quitting has never been on my menu. I don't quit jobs, but I think what I'm gonna tell my wife though is that, listen, I'm over here, I'm doing this right now, but my passion is here. And I would do them both because sometimes you have to show that hustle. You have to show that leadership. I'm gonna do them both until this can match this over here. Because I'm gonna let you know, hey, I know because you're used to getting your nails done, you're used to getting that hair done. Yeah, I just can't drop off all of a sudden. Yeah. So, you know, I'm gonna do them both until I can afford not to let that job go. But I think being able to communicate that's the hardest part.
So you a comic, you gone every weekend out of the year.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as real balance there. Like, how do you keep your house healthy knowing that you got to leave every weekend?
Oh, we have a fantastic balance. That's why I think I've been married 27 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because for me, leaving on Thursday or Friday, coming back Sunday is family day. Yeah, you know, my wife, if I'm home too much, she'd be like, hey, don't you have a show or something? You know? So, you know, that works for us. Now, I don't say that may work for everybody else, but it works for us, you know. Me being gone on the weekends, my weekends, you know, are people weekdays and vice versa. Yeah.
So you grow up as a pastor's child.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to see the ins and outs of the church.
Yeah.
You see the good.
Yeah.
You see, I've heard on one of your specials, because I watch everything, Marcus D. Wise. I know I play a lot, but I'm really a fan of your work and your craft. I'm like, man, that's my nigga right there. Look at that. He got some. We were just talking offline. He was telling me where he had to go. And I was like doing this really giddy smile. I said, hey, you see these cheekbones? If you tell people what you doing and they don't do this, you gotta watch them.
Gotta watch them.
You gotta watch them.
Snake.
Yeah, like you gotta kind of watch them. They not happy about what you're happy about.
Yeah.
But see, you end up being a pastor's child. God was like, pastor's kid, here you go. You see your mother, and she with it sometimes, and sometimes she like, hey man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
What lessons did you learn from church, like that are applicable to where you going now? Because now you in theaters, now you in clubs, now you moving into this mainstream opportunity. It's like now you crossing over, but you bringing the crossover. But it's a lot of people out there who have gifts, but they think it's combined to the
bring the crossover. You supposed to hit that when you said that.
Listen, you bringing that crossover.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, when you see me doing a Pretty Willie show, it look like the crossover.
Yeah.
But I'm bringing the crossover.
I like
Everywhere
that.
I go, I'm gonna bring them with me. But I want to ask you, like, for people out there who have gifts like yours, and they like, well, you can only do it at the church.
Yeah.
Like, what gifts? What levels of discipline have you learned from the church that now you're able to apply? Going out with Ali Siddiq. I actually seen a vision, I'll tell you towards the end of the show. But now what do you see now with this being applicable in the mainstream sector?
Yeah, so it's a scripture. I don't know what book it's in, but it says something about your gift.
Come on.
It's gonna make room.
Yeah.
I don't know what room. One of the problems I think, or not necessarily a problem, but people, they don't like the room that they have them in. Okay, so if you just doing churches, hey, that's the room your gift have you in right now.
Yeah.
So now I'm in theaters, getting ready to do my tour. When the Church met the club, all these comedy clubs. Yeah. These are the rooms now that my gift have me in. I don't feel no type of way about it. Yeah. Like you just said, I'm about to cross over, but I'm taking a crossover.
Come on, bring it over.
I'm going in here because I think people, especially those that are not part of the church culture, they need to see people who in church, but regular. Like I'm a regular dude. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not better. I know better, but I'm not better. You know what I'm saying? And so they need to see that come. They need to see that come in there. Yeah. And watch this. Light shines, from what I hear, brighter in darkness. Yeah. So when I'm in these clubs, not drinking, not smoking, not cussing, man, people like, whoa. Yeah. But I'm around it. Yeah. And I ain't criticizing or judging the people that's doing it. Yeah. Yeah, hey. I'm not the convictor. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not here to convict
my
you.
presence in itself had you like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, I think that's what it is as it relates to, what I've learned, from the church that I grew up in and my father's church. I know who I am and whose I am. Yeah. I don't have to front. They say you know the tree by the fruit.
Praise God.
This is what it is.
I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here. Now, I don't want no beer, but if y'all have a frozen margarita with a tahini rim.
Right there?
Yeah, I might have that, but yeah, I'm not but come on, man.
So now you in these arenas, do you have these moments? So I always like to build a bridge. I promise you, it's not about me, it's about marketing. I like to build a bridge with true stories. So I'm doing a Pretty Willie show. Yeah. And I'm sitting in this dressing room.
And congratulations on that 314 day too.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, but go ahead.
It's like 1,500 people out there and they screaming and yelling, and I get finished and I'm like, okay, it's time to go. Of course it's raining. I'm like, well, let's just sit in here. Yeah. And just so many people were just coming. Yeah. Just for answers. Sure. And I was like, man, when I go into a church setting, man, if I'm preaching or teaching, I'd be like, because the Bible says, Proverbs 15:1, a gentle answer, they turns away round. I'd be like, they kind of called me. They kind of called me to do it. It'd be a lady right there.
You didn't study with me.
Turns away round. I'm like, I know you know it, but they called me to say it this time. God bless y'all. But when I was there, they just had this. Everybody has this genuine like,
Hunger.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, you got the answers or
Yes.
whatever. And I'm just like, well, I'm still kind of regular. And then
Yeah.
God said, but I'm not regular.
Sure.
I've set you in here to do this.
No doubt.
And so even with the team now, I'm building these bridges,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, hey, anybody who goes in here, I know some of y'all got little issues or whatever,
Yeah.
but those get checked at the door. We're
Sure.
here on a mission.
No doubt.
So do you have like any moments where you sitting in this theater and then you connect with somebody, they're like, you one of them ones. And you got to minister offline, and it's actually more powerful than some of the things you've done elsewhere.
All the time. That's the thing. I think you just said it. Like when I'm saying I'm regular, I know he's not.
Yeah.
But I'm saying what draw the people to me though is my regular stories.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? They can relate to it. And then see something different. Oh, he moved a different way in this story. Then after the show, man, I get it all. Or they'll come to me, hey, bro, you saved my marriage. Or, hey, bro, I'm not with my baby's, my kid's mother, we separated. But after what you said tonight, I'm getting ready to go apologize. I mean, I hear everything.
Yeah.
And so they asked me how, like you started out, was that hard to go back? And all that, and I was telling them, nah, it ain't hard if you love her. I mean, if that's who you want to be with, of course, and things are not toxic or whatever. It's not hard, man. You got to swallow that pride.
Yeah.
If that's what if you want this lady back or you want your family back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What borders are you setting now that you're kind of moving to a whole nother sphere? Because, now, you always been a cool looking dude.
Yeah.
But I'm sure now to somebody like
Think I look better?
You like the money came now, man. of God. Your hair.
You see how I do it? I don't even do my hair no
That's
more.
just what I'm saying. You gotta
Just wake up.
Let me show you what it is. See, Marcus, you used to come in and you be like, yeah. Now your neck loose.
I got
Your
the
neck,
loose neck.
your neck. This called, man. You laugh different.
Yeah.
So it's like I always tell people confidence sells.
Yeah,
It don't
sure.
even matter. They be like, oh, he changed when he got the money. Like how they make those memes and they like, oh, see, this how he look. I'm like, I don't really see no difference but confidence.
Yeah.
And confidence attracts a different group of
doubt.
people.
No
What
doubt.
borders and boundaries do you set for this next level for Marcus?
Man, definitely got to pray more. But here's the thing. Like for me, I was in an interview one time and they asked me, man, how do you handle, the little celebrity or popularity, whatever, and how do you handle these women? I ain't never had a problem with women. See, people sometimes think because you now in the spotlight, it's a woman. You have a woman problem. That's been a problem since day one.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe it's more now.
Yeah.
But that's out, man. From college, I ain't gonna say high school because high school, but college.
You
from
fine.
come on, man.
Come on, can't play
Come on,
with
what we talking about?
What?
Come on, you see what the Lord is doing. I mean, what we talking about? And so, what happens? What happens from?
You see what the Lord.
You see what the Lord doing. I mean, everybody wants you to be out, man. I had to learn how to make better decisions and choices. Yeah, man, we can pray, we can fast, we can do all that. Guess what? She's still fine. She still look good.
Yeah.
And so at some point, you just make a better decision, a better choice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's the only thing. It's never been drugs for me. It's never been alcohol. It's never been nothing. If I ever had a vice, it's the natural one.
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't go, they everywhere.
Yeah.
And thanks be to God that now I'm older. This ain't the 20-something-year-old Mark. Mark 52 now.
Right.
Yeah, Mark, I don't want to die. I don't want to die trying to chase a little thrill. He died in the Marriott. He was in the Marriott, and I don't want that. No, I want to die an old man with my grandchildren around me.
That's real.
Yeah.
When I was speaking to the men, Marcus, I met my biological father in 2020. Cool man.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of got a BOGO.
Okay.
So I was just looking for my mama, then
Yeah.
I got to buy one, got one free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my daddy was like, my brother was like, our daddy, he still, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, well, let's meet up too,
Let's
But it was like when I met him, I seen every part of me that I had fought.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you had the luxury and it was a blessing to see your father and you'd be like, yeah, I like that, but nah, I ain't gonna do it like that.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying?
sure,
You talk about it
sure.
when you got out the house and you was like, I'm going to the safest place, home. He was like, you got one night.
One night.
All you got is one night. So
That's
when I
it.
seen that, like I tell the men, like I really found out what was chasing me.
Okay.
And the root of all my bad decisions
Okay.
was like, hey, you know, I was drinking a little bit.
Okay.
Not getting drunk,
I know,
but they're running
yeah.
the blood. They're running the bloodline.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's the border that I got to cut off. And then we just have a way with women.
Sure.
So it's like womanizing is
Yeah.
in the family.
Yeah, my family too.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
man, okay. So when you see all of those things, I'm like, okay, it's important to know what you're going after,
Yeah.
but it's important to know what's chasing you too.
Sure.
So when you look at your life now at 52, like, what do you look and be like, man, these different issues may try to chase me, but they can't go with me to this next level.
Yeah. Repeat that question again.
Just what's chasing Marcus right now in the bloodline? You know, it might even be somebody say, Marcus, you know, when you finish all that, you got to go be a pastor. Is there something else?
Now maybe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. Everybody want to make me a pastor.
Yeah.
They just, you know, I always tell people just because you know a little Bible and you speak well and you may have a message with a joke. I'm not a pastor, bro. I never never been called. I tell everybody I broke the generational curse. You know, God called me back, said the wrong number. I mean, I got all type of jokes for it, you know, but so maybe that, but yeah, as of right now, Willie, just real talk. I think I've exercised all those things.
Yeah.
At least prayerfully, hopefully I have. Yeah, I think I have.
Man, that's dope.
Yeah.
You know, when I see you now and I'm able to see like the expansion of it all, you know, a lot of people don't know about you being a radio veteran. And like, you know, I grew up, you know, really watching I called you the live wire, the only person that I really connected with on the show, because I wasn't necessarily a part of the culture. I love Yolanda. You work with Yolanda Adams. Like, I love her as a person, as a singer.
Right.
But then when I would listen, I'd be like, yeah, they found one that's sort of like Miller off the wall. That's my type of Christian right there.
Yeah.
So when you are no longer on radio and now you got to go out there and kind of do it a little differently and come with new systems, what was that transition like for you and your family where you are touching 2 million people every time you crack a mic in the morning and then suddenly it stops.
It's gone.
And you got to go back to Erica, you got to go back to the babies, and you got to go to this new drawing board.
Yeah.
A lot of men going into this new climate when it comes to economics. I mean, sadly enough to say, there are a lot of companies in these next few months, they won't exist.
Sure.
What is it like going back home and talking to her and saying, hey, you know, that was it?
Man, when we got let go from Yolanda's morning show, you know, it was a big deal because here I'm losing 6-figure salary, reach as relates to keep me booked with my comedy, 2 mortgages.
2 mortgages?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You had the business, the condo.
Yeah.
I told you I'd be father. Yeah. No doubt. I'm listening.
2 mortgages. My son was in private school. So this was a big deal. I mean, you know, I tell everybody, I was like, yeah, Lord, I don't really know what you're doing in this season. You know, I'm with you though, but ooh. And so, you know, when that happened, I think the good news is for me was that, man, I was doing it before radio.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was a working comedian, just not on that level though, as relates to finances and everything. But I was a working comedian, and I also knew, man, I have complete faith and trust and belief in God. I know He ain't gonna do me like this.
Right.
I mean, you know, I got to deal with this, but He ain't gonna do me like this as it relates to it won't be a bounce back or anything. And so, you know, man, we had lost, and then and it lingered longer than what I thought though. Like, cause that was 16, so it wasn't until maybe around, I'm gonna tell you, about 2020. This when I knew God was like, got you. I go do this church in Birmingham, Alabama. I won't say the name, but the pastor was transitioning out. His son was taking over. And they booked me several times.
Got it.
And at this time, I'm just wondering, man, Lord, how you forgot about me? You know, I'm not depressed. I'm not nothing but, bro, is this the end? Or is this it? And so I had charged them $7,500, right? I was there for the weekend. I was there for Friday, then I did the church on Sunday morning.
Got it.
And Willie, after the first service, the pastor was like, man, Marcus, you're so funny, bro. Man, when you get home, take your wife out. He gave me $500. He said, just take her out to eat. I said, okay, appreciate it. Thank you. So they was like,
That's a good.
yeah, it was cool. That was the
deal.
pastor. So they was like, hey, they want to give you some extra money. Have they gave it yet? I was like, oh yeah, pastor he gave it to me. You know, I'm thinking that was the $5.
Yeah. So
I do the second service. Our second service, the son now comes with a check. He brings the envelope, and he said, man, we just want to bless you. You've been here over the years. This is a big thing for my father. So, man, boom. I get the envelope, put it in my backpack. I go to the airport. And I done got an extra check before from a church, $1,000, $1,500, and thank you. I mean, appreciate all that.
Right.
I get to that airport. I open that envelope. $23,000.
Really?
Listen to me. It ended up being like a $30,000 weekend.
Wow.
Listen to me. I am boo-hooing, bro. Because not necessarily for the money. I'm boo-hooing because it was like God was saying, bro, you don't know how I'm gonna do stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, stop handcuffing me, boxing me. You thinking it's supposed to come from this way or that way.
Yeah.
$30,000. And man, from there, man, my attitude got right. Because it was just a reminder that, man, I'm God. I do what I want. I'm grown. I do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it.
Yeah.
And that's how I tell you. That's what I tell people. What's up with God? He grown. He's a grown man. He do what he want to do, when he want to do it, and how he want to do it.
So,
30. And I call my wife, we both cry. We don't FaceTime. Man, I'm telling you, it messed me up. It messed me up. It was on ever since, man. And
Man.
yeah.
One hell of a story. Marcus D. Wiley, make sure that you follow him. So you're going through that transition. God now shows up. You rebuilding. I know you ain't giving 45 different visions because you now know, like, you can't be a bank teller, a professor, or whatever. We just stick in the comedy.
It's comedy now.
Did you ever see this opportunity with Ali Siddiq turning into this?
Nope.
And I say this humbly because you know you my guy, but like you literally turned into like a comedy rock star, the first of Christian. I mean, you know, you're a Christian guy, but it's on a secular. You're a comedian. I'm a comedian with a Christian foundation.
That happens to be a Christian. Yes. Yeah.
Did you see all this? Was this the vision that you had given her?
Nope. You know, I just knew as it relates to when Ali said, "Let me do your next special." That's what he said. Let me record it. Because in the pandemic, I wrote 2 specials, Grown, Great, Forgiven, Marriage is Major Surgery. I toured Grown, Great, Forgiven. It was good, you know. Churches, I did like 50 cities, 50 churches. Then I toured Marriage is Major Surgery the next year. I did 50 churches again. Did 250 on my own. That's what I'm saying, quiet. People don't even know, just except the churches that I've gone to. So I'm working, but I was focused though. I've been writing. You know, after I got that 30, I said, I ain't gonna lie, after I got that 30, I was laser sharp. Now I said, I'm just gonna do my part.
Then you gonna do your
And then you gonna do your part. I'm just, so
it took that 30.
That 30 got me right. I ain't lying. That 30 got me right. And so I started writing. So Ali was like, he didn't like how Grown, Great, Forgiven was shot. So he says, hey, let me shoot this next one.
Yeah.
So when he came at me, you know, his star had begun to shine and he got management and all this type of stuff and he's doing all these comedy clubs because I done been to a few of them with him. And he was like, bro, this is gonna hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I'm not a social media guy. I'm really not on it like that. You done told me years ago I need to be on all that. I know. Don't reprimand me on your show.
That man said, now, Willie, no. I ain't going to do it. But at least you was out here.
Yeah, I ain't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. And so, man, we shot it. He put it out. Of course, we put it out on his platform because he had a bigger platform. It's on mine as well, but it's strategic how we did it. Mm-hmm. And man, I couldn't believe it, Willie, man, when they like, oh, bro, you at this.
I watched it at 523,000.
Yeah.
7 days later, that jump was over $1 million.
Yeah, it was $1 million, and it was
just kept on going.
And I just started boo-hooing because I was like, wow, like it was overwhelming.
So here's the unique part. Ali Siddiq is probably one of the most integral men of character. Definitely a Muslim brother, Nation of Islam, 120%. Mm-hmm. 100%, I ain't been making no jokes, but just 100%.
Yeah.
And he just stand on business.
On business.
And when I seen that a Muslim brother would put his hand out to a Christian brother and say, hey, man, I want to share my platform with you.
With you. Ain't it crazy?
A Muslim brother said, hey.
And financed it.
I didn't know that part.
Oh, he's executive producer. He financed. I ain't spent a red cent.
Wow.
He financed the whole thing. And then watch this, I'm gonna show you how cold he is and how good he is to me. Yeah. Then set me up with the social media aspect and all this here and paid for that for 3 months.
To just get the jump
To get me jump started. Ooh, but they sent me that bill the first of this month. Boy, I said, God, dog.
Oh, yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real. But nevertheless, I'm just saying, he set me up though, and for my boy, my brother, to do that. Yeah. Yeah, man. And the great dynamic, it's a Muslim brother.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian brother.
Yeah.
I was already prepped for this because one of my best friends, he Muslim. He was my college roommate. Mm. Yeah. So,
got it already.
Kind of prepared, yeah. And so, man, we get along great, man. We on the road, we get along great.
So this the weird part about Ali, because I'm from St. Louis.
Yeah.
And a lot of my guys, they was in the street.
Yeah.
And so, they did fair time. They been down to Texas. When
he was in the street. He was in the
prison. And they was like, hey, y'all know, you know Ali?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know him. I know Boy.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, but the nigga he with, hey, he one of the realest ones,
Yeah, he's solid.
He said, they said Ali had, I don't know, something happened in the jail, and he shut everything down. Like, they say he ain't but this tall. I met him twice. Yeah. He ain't but this tall. But he's like, man, listen, he shut it all down. They were younger, he was older. And he was like, we was little oaks trying to come up in that. But he had set it down, had us reading books. Yeah. He said Ali had us reading books. And to see two brothers come together and be able to do this, I think it also represents something that the Christian community sometimes shuns.
Sure.
We get locked in on the scripture like, how do two walk together unless they agree? Yeah. But what part of the agreement was God actually speaking of?
Come on.
The agreement may be touching people. Yeah. And it's like sometimes we put these borders in our culture like, well, I can't walk with you because you don't. It's like, no, you don't believe this part, but we do believe that these people need to laugh. Yeah. We do believe there's a great opportunity. Yeah. So when you're there, do you now see things different because you grew up with a pastor who may have taught the same thing? Did you feel any pushback when you got into that moment? But now seeing that like, hey, God still breathed on it. Yeah, the only time I ever had any pushback was with my college roommate. I would go to my grandfather's house. Now he was fire and brimstone pastor. It's the one that preaches with no love. Great guy though. I mean, fantastic guy. But the word is the word. Yeah. And so I forgot to tell my roommate, oh, listen, my pawpaw gonna ask you what church you go to. Yeah. Get your answer together. I mean, but all the Muslim, I'm telling you, it's gonna go another way. I forgot. Man, I'm get over there. I'm getting this money. My pawpaw, like clockwork. Hey, Keelan, that's my guy named Keelan. Keelan, what church you go to? Keelan was like, I go to the masjid. I'm Muslim. My papa said, Mark, come back here. Oh, God.
So we go in the back. I'm talking about this right here. We go in the back. You roommate? sharing a room, a space with a Muslim? I said, yeah, he good people though, Papa. But y'all not equally yoked. I said, he my roommate. We not getting married. We not getting married, cuz you trying to make us a couple. No, that's my roommate. Yeah. I was like, no, I don't know, Mark, I don't like that. Either you gonna rub off on him or he gonna rub off on you. I say, brother, he was born Muslim. Yeah. Same way I was born Christian. Yeah. What about just being a good person? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to convert him. He not trying to convert me, you know. Yeah. Yeah, and it worked. We still partners today. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, in St. Louis, my Muslim brothers and I, we have a bigger cause together when it comes to the violence in the city. Yeah. So we sit down at the table and we do whatever we have to do. Like, at the end of the day, foundationally, I think if you come from a place of just, like, when you authentic about where you are, who you are, I think real just always recognize real. Always. Now, when we tried to do this 15 years ago, like come down, try to stop some of the violence in the city, everybody had an issue. Well, how can they? And I'll be the first to say I kind of got talked out of the partnership. Okay. Because I was new to the, I'm new to the faith. To the faith, like, I would go to church, but I wasn't really the church dude. I was more interested in the neighborhood and throwing parties and women and all of that. But to see you two get together, it just did my heart so good. Because you cover all bases. Man. And y'all storytelling skill set is similar in stature, but so different in the story.
Man, I perform now because, Muslims come out for him. Yeah. They book me. I done Muslim retreats and all. Wow. Who got a check, man?
Who? You got it?
Do you have a deposit and all that? Deposit? Yeah, man, people, I think for me, Willie, I'm through, and I probably have done it young in my life. Mm-hmm. I'm through trying to do God's job. Like, I think we put so much pressure on ourselves trying to do His job or the Holy Spirit's job. Yes, sir. My job is to love. At least that's what it's saying now in that book. I'm supposed to love. Yeah. That's me. I'm showing love. Yeah. Love God. Love your neighbor. Yeah. That's my job. I think that's my job description.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I ain't got no judgment for you. Now, I will ref. I'm not a judge, but I referee.
What does that mean?
Oh, because, refs make judgment calls.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they make judgment calls. Yeah. Yeah, so every now and then you got to ref somebody like, hey, time out now. Hey,
you do it.
You know you. But when you do that, you should do that in love. Yeah. You with me? Yeah. Yeah, I wrote this joke. I'm writing it, but I'm talking about how I grew up where you say, hey man, let me holler at you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that let me holler at you, that mean they would do this in private. Yeah. You might not like it, whatever. Y'all might have words, but I did it in private. I didn't do it on the internet or so I did it in private because that's done in love. Mm-hmm.
That's the way you do it.
That's how you do it.
And I'd be like, who raised these guys? No, a lot of times I'm like, what y'all doing? Who raised you?
Who raised you?
Like, where y'all get that from? Yeah. Cause I'm little, like I would pop off because I told this one dude who kind of got into with the whole thing. And my friend Chuck was there. I said, man, don't let this jacket that I got on fool you. He's like, what that mean? I said, I know I wear a Christian jacket now, but it was another jacket that I wore before now. Yeah. And I just don't know who raised you guys because I've slapped people for that. And he was like, oh, I don't know what that meant. I said, hey, man, y'all get him on away from me because I don't really do well with that because it's like, it's a pedigree. And it didn't even come from the neighborhood. It came from having a father in the home. Yeah. He was like, man, you don't do that. Yeah. Man, we told you pull that man to the side.
Pull the man to the side.
Right there to the word. You pull him to the side. Yeah. And then you bring him to the elders if you don't do it. Then you can do whatever you want to do. So just kind of as we land the plane, what principles did you take from your father to be able to carry this much confidence at 52 years old? Yeah. Like what part of him did you take with you to be able to be this version of yourself?
Man, my father would always say, Mark, if you're going to say something, say something. Okay? This was his thing. Don't just be talking. Man, when you say something, say something.
Yes, sir.
that's gonna affect somebody, that's gonna, make somebody want to change, make somebody want to do right, make somebody want to live better. And so I know for a fact when I'm on stage and I'm doing these jokes, that's what I'm trying to do. My prayer for him going on stage, man, I want to be the light. I want to give perspective. I want to say something, that'll help, whether if they married, whether if they right now trying to find a purpose, trying to find a job or whatever, man, because I'm giving you all of what I dealt with. I'm putting that on stage.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's the thing. And and I do it knowing that, that it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your belief has got you here. As we land the plane, I've watched from a distance, from afar, from a very long time. I'm so glad that God gave you Ali Siddiq.
Me too.
Because not only just as a friendship, but you got a chance to see somebody who will fund it the way you're supposed to. Your gift of writing, for the next generation, what you're gonna do as far as like, I see you writing television shows, even so much as stage plays. Like there'll be a time where, but God will give you a number and you'll be able to do that number in 3 months. Like it'd be real easy. And then God is gonna allow you to take some time to sit and just really just create it. And then for the first time, you will look at that bank account of your own.
I receive.
And you're gonna say, yeah, we're gonna put that. The weird part is, and I don't know if it's God, maybe just my desire, but for it's cartoons. I just keep seeing like cartoons and just fun, quirky stuff that you might have buried. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the Lord's kind of revealing to me that you still have a desire for children. Like, man, I want to give something to these little cats, man, so they can stop doing stupid stuff. And the strategy through pen is just like, oh, let me create some really cool stuff for them. It's like your pen is just gonna be the catalyst of creating all of this stuff. So it goes from specials to like TV stuff to like this big vision, like, and that's what's going to outlive everything that you ever do. And now that you've been around somebody who will fund it, you won't have no pushback. And even Erica gonna be like, so we can spend that.
Yeah,
like, we can spend that.
Oh yeah, she ready to spend.
Yeah, we ready to spend. You know what I mean? But I just see so much creativity that'll be able to come out. So even if you find yourself in a place where it's like you waking up at night, it's like it ain't just like, damn, I can't even really get that sleep going. Yeah. It's God challenging you to grab that pen again and just saying, all right, be as creative as possible, be as quirky, bring out that childlike faith, because the favor that's rest on your life, you talked about it jokingly in the special, like the favor that rests on your life is not different from everybody else. It's just you actually believe it.
Sure.
Like people walk around with confidence, but be like, man, I don't even know how he did. Yeah. But for you like, oh no, let's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like let's see. For sure. You know, see what they do.
Yeah. I mean, he done showed me too many times. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I done seen it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed you too much.
He done showed me too much.
And it's
he done showed me too much.
Yeah, he done showed you too much.
Yeah. Like, so I expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, them scripts and stuff, man, they're gonna come at you like so easy. And man, I'm gonna do my best to get on the road and just at least I want to see it in action and just see what the Lord does, man. But I'm so grateful that you had the opportunity to sit down with me.
Me too, man. Thank you. And congratulations on all your success, bro.
Man, my guy.
For sure.
Indeed. So family, listen. As we land this plane, I'll be very, very honest with you. I just left all of my children for spring break. We had a really good time in Florida, and then of course my 16-year-old, he had to go to St. Louis, so I brushed him back to the airport, and then I knew Marcus was in town, and because he hit me, and I was like, hey, we got to put something together. And I realized that sometimes because of the adversity, many of us don't attack the moment. So I just want to challenge you in this moment that we're living in a climate that's going to require you to attack the moment, to overcome the hurdles that may be in front of you. The one thing that I've learned about moments is that they quickly become memories. And a lot of times when you get the opportunity, you look at the outliers instead of the opportunity that's right in front of your face. So what I heard from Marcus today was this, that even though one opportunity didn't necessarily work out the way he thought it should, God put him in a place of exile where he had to learn how to trust him the way God wanted him to trust him for the next season. So maybe in this season of your life, you're like, man, there's so much hell going on, it's crazy, and stuff is coming at you, and you think to yourself like, all right, now God, listen, who put me on the strongest soldier list? Is that you, right? Like, I know sometimes you've been there, but you don't realize that it's preparation for the next season. Because the Bible declares this, that we're gonna go from faith to faith. And the Bible also said, the just shall live by faith. Oh, how I wish he just would have said, the just shall live by faith one good time.
One good time.
But he didn't put the one good time in there. He says that we got to continue to go and walk through faith. So even in this moment, there may be exile for you with all the tariffs and the news and all of that. And you're living in a place of perpetual fear. I want you to find peace and solace in the fact that God is teaching you something for the next season that you're about to go in. Marcus talked about that $30,000 seed. And that was kind of a, okay, God, you'll do it. And what I believe is that even though you know God, he wants to prepare a moment that will make you his biggest fan. Because it's been a while since you've been his fan. You've learned so much about him. And sometimes when you're so close and you get in the culture, sometimes we miss the miraculous because we're just so used to it. And so God has to put us in a place where it's like, okay, you strip some things off. Maybe you lost a loved one. Maybe things didn't work out the way you want to in that relationship. Maybe you, like me, you went through uncoupling publicly and it was really, really tough. But whatever he has to do to put you in a place that gives you a desire for him, it's all to make you a bigger fan. So now we watch a fan of God go from being on the radio touching 2 million people to now having a show on YouTube and his channel and 129 dates and 2 million people watching, and now they know his face. And he can be trusted because he went through that moment of exile. The question becomes, can you learn how to love the journey that you're in and fall in love with exile? Because God is just simply attempting to make you a bigger fan of him. And once you become a fan, like you're a fan of LeBron James, the Dallas Cowboys, whatever it is, then you can walk in any room without a shadow of a doubt and know that God's gonna show up. I always tell you this, pride don't make an excuse. Man, I don't know what God doing. He ain't show up this way. Humility will make an adjustment. Humility just says, however God you're gonna do it, I know you will do it. And while you're doing it, I'm gonna enjoy my moments. As long as you can see something and you can see it in front of your face, just know if you and God walk in the room, you're the majority, and in a moment, things could change. So do I have any fans of God out there? Like, just be honest, like, hey, bro, if you're a fan of God, just say, hey, make me a fan, right? That's all he doing, like, hey, make me a fan, right? And once you become a fan, you'll see God expand your territory in a way that only God could do and you couldn't even imagine. And I believe that that's your blessing for the day, man, that God is going to expand your territory. Lord knows I had no idea what this moment was going to be, but I'm so thankful that I took advantage of it because it truly blessed me, and I pray that it blessed you. All right, family, do me a favor. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Tell about 10 people. Share this with as many people as possible. And I also want to encourage you to go to flatoutfamily.com. Now, flatoutfamily.com is your one-stop shop for all things radio, YouTube, merchandise, just everything you need to know. And of course, we're coming to a city near you this month. Find out where we're going at flatoutfamily.com. And finally, to all my men out there, ladies, make sure you make them go. Mentorship.com. My son is going to handle all of the teenagers. 22 years old, graduated from college in 3.5 years at the University of Mississippi. He's in grad school. Baby boy about to get a job. Come on, somebody. I'm so proud of him. But he has a lot to teach to the teenagers. And of course, mothers and wives have heard your cry. 21 and older, they need help. I've assembled a group of men who are going to pour into them starting in May. Depending on when you watch this, starting in May, we're going to do something special for all the men, and we're going to keep this thing going. So go to morementorship.com. All right? It's your boy, Willie Mo Jr. Flat out.
Love you more, love you more.